Sabang KLIA2 will be ready by May 2013. This was the Prime Minister giving his assurance. And of course, by March of this year, before the GE, Tony and I presented to the public a series of aerial photographs, which we will present to you again today. And I think you have sufficient information on the list of delays incurred. But it's important that not only NAHB and the Minister of Transport respond to this press conference and questions raised, but also the Prime Minister of a minority government himself, because he gave the assurance to us, and we are not satisfied with the continuing culture of political dishonesty.
In this case, probably not just political dishonesty, just blatant dishonesty.
That's true. Also, inefficient lying. Incompetent lying.
Okay, I think the headlines to the statement that basically sums up the comments we want to make. Malaysia Airports is run by an incompetent team of liars who have failed to take responsibility for the perpetual delays in the completion of the new low-cost KLIA2, and with costs inflating to as high as 5 billion. Okay. If you look at a series of facts, I put down all the facts on paper, rather than just comment, because you can see for yourself all the various announcements since 2009 on the completion date of the airport. We moved from September 2011 to end of 2011 to early 2012 to April 2012 to October 2012 to April 2013 to May 2013, then to June 2013, and now postponed indefinitely per their latest release in the what do you call it? Latest release. Sorry. As of 28 March, we still say it's confirmed on schedule. Then on 7th of May, NAHB announced an indefinite delay to the airport construction or completion. Okay? And on 14th of May, in a private meeting from Fauzi Ahmad, GM of Airlines is the retail arm of NAHB. Okay? In Singapore, they told the vendors there that it will be ready only in the 4th quarter of 2013. Okay, so that's the only date we have so far on when NAHB, the KLIA2 is scheduled to be completed. We have our doubts as to whether the airport can even be completed as the end of this year. Okay? We won't be surprised. You know, the original intent was to launch it on the 28th of June to celebrate the 15th anniversary of KLIA. We won't be surprised if KLIA2 is launched on the 16th anniversary of the launch of KLIA on the 28th of June 2014. Inside sources have told us that the conditions of the location are not at all conducive towards the completion of the construction. And the reasons I will not go through here, but they are all stated actually in the background information that's attached. So that's number one, which is when it will actually get completed. You can tell that the NAHB were clearly lying when they confirmed on the 20th of March that it is on schedule. It is on schedule on the 28th of March, and that was after our press conference on the 14th of March to say that there's no way we can meet the targets. Okay? They confirmed it on 28th of March, and yet within 1.5 months before and after elections, okay, suddenly postponed indefinitely by more than 6 months. So it's a clear-cut case of incompetence and lying by the top management of NAHB. And this is a very serious matter because NAHB is a listed company on the stock exchange. They must provide reliable and accurate information to the investing public, or they can actually be sued for misleading, providing misleading or inaccurate information to the public who are trading on the shares of MAHB. Number 2, cost of KLIA. As you can see, even for the cost of KLIA, it is a non-stop increase. From 2007 announced to 1.7, 2009 announced 2 billion, 2010 announced 2.5 billion, 2011 announced 3.6 to 3.9 billion, 2012 announced 4 billion, and as of today, we do not know what the final cost will be. I think Tan Sri Tony Fernandez has last year speculated that the cost will be inflated to 5 billion, and we believe that he will not be far off the mark, given that the airport has now been delayed by an additional 6 months, possibly 12 months. We want the people who are accountable for this to take responsibility for this KLIA2 fiasco and scandal. Just as a matter of a basis of comparison, it is not the best comparison, but it's a basis of comparison. The existing the LCCT that you are looking at, that we are using today, that I just came back from this morning. The cost was originally 108 million, and with the upgrade, the International Week extension of 124 million, the total cost was only 232 million. That is a proper cost for a low-cost airport. In contrast, we expected the cost of the new airport to be higher because it has better facilities, it is more integrated, etc. But the difference between 232 million and 4 billion, which is the current cost today, is just staggering. It is no longer a low-cost airport. And because of the increase in cost, the financial burden of MAHB has increased. They have taken a 3.1 billion sukuk in 2010, which has been fully drawn down as of end of last year to cope with the higher than expected cost of the airport, and they have announced plans for an additional 1 billion ringgit loan to cover up additional costs arising from the KLIA2 project. So this will burden MAHB, which is a 40% owned company by Khazanah, as well as additional stake, I believe about 10% or so, by KLIA2.
I think you have to also understand our reputation is at stake. We know that in terms of the delays, it will impact about 20 million that was supposed to be expected in KLIA2 in its first year, as Firefly, Malindo Air are supposed to operate from KLIA2 projected May 1st, the opening date. Additionally, expectation of increase in passengers by 40% up to 7.4 million per year via ERL to KLIA2 once it operates by May 2013. So we're not talking about just MAHB as an entity, but the expectations of others who have committed to operating in KLIA2 by May this year. Any questions? We've made some demands. We keep making demands that are unanswered, but again, they're making them again today.
Okay. First, we want MAHB to confirm the extent of increase in cost. That's important. It is part of public accountability as well. They kept telling us that it is capped, it is capped, it is capped,
yes,
and yet every time it keeps going up and up and up. Number 2, confirm the new deadline for the project. Okay. Number 3, since both of us were unable to secure a meeting with the previous transport minister, in order to discuss this issue or get further clarification. A few appointments were made, somehow they were cancelled. We would like to seek a meeting with the new acting transport minister, acting for don't know how long, Dato' Sri Shamudin Hussein.
But I think it's good if we can read our previous statements and do some research, so at least we can answer some of our questions. Yes.
News to the job.
Yes. We do such a good job, Dato'.
Okay, and lastly, we seek the Ministry of Transport to conduct an independent audit of the KLIA2 project. just a one-line background. The reason, one of the key reasons why the cost got inflated so much is because we changed the location of KLIA2 from an originally planned location under the master plan, 1992 master plan, which is here, okay? And they shifted it to another location. They shifted basically from north to west. As a result, from the north location to the west location has been stated very clearly in the master plan. It is not suitable for building an airport because the soil is not suitable. The soil sinks. So whatever you build on top, it sinks, and it takes a long time to settle. And that's the main reason for the delay that we are facing today. Okay? The runway cannot be used because you can't have a runway that goes up and down in the airport. So that is the main cause for the shift, and we want to know the reason why the shift was made. We have been pursuing this matter since 2011. Up to today, the ministers have completely ignored our request for an answer. They always sidestep the issue by saying that we now have a new master plan. They don't tell you why is it that they shifted, they just tell you that based on the new master plan, that is the location of the KLIA.
And on record, the previous transport minister stated that the change in the location to the west was made by MAHB. Then Transport Ministry had nothing to do with it. And I think this is completely unacceptable. You would definitely have to approve and understand and accept the rationale for shifting location KLIA2's construction. You can refer this to previous statements made. It's all in public domain, including Hansard in Parliament. Okay?
The cost from 1.7 to 3.9 billion, and then now there is a delay in delivering the project by May. Do you have any estimate of per month, any additional cost, what cost overruns can the public look forward to, or may not look forward to, can we fear or be worried about?
I think you have asked an issue. At the moment, the Transport Minister confirmed in Parliament in October last year, it was 4 billion. So it's no longer 3.9 billion. They said 4 billion. That was given by the Deputy Transport Minister then, Dr. Fakurali Bakri.
You know, what is disappointing is the fact that mainstream media, including the Star, has already alluded and hinted that it possibly can balloon up to 4.5 billion, basically managing people's expectations after the failure of the past. And then this is really irresponsible because instead of criticizing, instead of really questioning the authorities as to the delay, they're actually making up excuses and preparing the public to accept the cost of possibly 4.5 billion. That's as of the last article I read.
Maybe you mentioned that you will be no surprise the airport is going to launch by June 28th.
Next year.
No, that means
this year.
Worst case scenario, we are expecting it to be launched only next year. We're not surprised if that takes place.
May not be worst case scenario.
Okay, sorry. Best case scenario. Any scenario.
Possible scenarios.
So you see the earthworks. It's quite.
Are you sure that you go through the photo?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. This is the terminals. The middle two is called
The apron.
the parking and okay, tutup lampu tak? Yeah. So this is the taken in the first week of May. Yeah. First week of May, 2013. For those who have time and not participating in elections.
Maybe
Yes.
why the statement before and after election is different?
I don't know, you have to ask the relevant parties, the minority
Your
opinion.
opinion?
My opinion, they're trying to save Najib's face.
Excuse me, what is Airlines stands for?
Airlines is the commercial arm of MAHB. If you go to some of these airports, you see the Airlines stores there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You can see the runway is completely not in existence.
Well, to be fair, they announced runway 3, they had to cancel, terminate the contract because the contractor could not complete it in time. But it was only after we raised the issue several times.
When is this taken roughly?
May,
First
May.
week of May.
This year.
This year, of course, this year. Since we cannot get the pictures from the Transport Ministry or NHB, so we decided to take them outside.
Has there any much change since then? I mean, based on your
You have
Made
to
it
ask,
today?
yeah, you have to
since
ask
first May and now on the ground.
I mean, the point is, I think their statements clearly prove they can't even have a targeted projected completion date. So it's quite clear.
They're not missing the date by 2 weeks or 2 months. They are missing the date by at least 6 months. The different.
Okay?
The pictures will be emailed to you.
Yeah, don't worry. Lots of pictures. Thank
So,
you very much. Yes.
Sorry, I mentioned just now that the shareholders, I mean those who have, for example, Firefly and what, those who are actually committed to operate it, can actually sue MHD for the delays.
Depends on what the arrangements
Yeah.
or contract
We
between
don't
the
know.
parties.
It's not been disclosed to us. Yeah. But the point is, we have the right to know. They have to explain to us what kind of cost incurred we're facing right now. And international reputation is one thing, but we're talking about how much money is involved.
This news was widely published. We do a search, widely published in all the regional and the international, those airport, airlines, news, specialist magazines and reports.
They were boasting about the occupancy. Basically, they've been booking ahead of time, so it's a problem because you can't fulfill that 8 times. So 11:30, we have Rafizi Ramli, next series of exposés. Thank you very much for coming. You want a picture of the old blueprint?
Yes.
Yeah, why not? So what do we have?
Vertically.
What boleh tengok sini. So you can see originally, guys, you know when we talk about the shift to the west, you can see originally.
This is the current airport. This is the international airport. This is the international airport. This is the proposed new LCCT airport. Okay, but we will move to this area, which is the swamp. So they moved the proposed design, original design, to here, which is a swamp, unsuitable for an airport. Where the new
It's a new place. New dodgy swampy place. Okay? So you tengok kalau pergi, dia tak boleh, it's uneven. That's why we want to inspect the site. Because you can tell, it will take a longer time untuk smoothen traffic. Jangan pilih tanah yang